We are going to learn a stay with our dogs. A stay is something you can think of as an emergency cue. This means we want to teach our dogs that when they hear this word stay, they stay put, they do not move until we can be at their side to release them. A little bit different than a wait. A wait is a pause button. A stay is that emergency, my dog runs out, crosses a busy road. We want to know we have this cue stay that will put them in a stay place until we can cross the road to go safely get them. So we build this one up really slowly. We teach it using the 3 Ds, we like to call it. The first D is duration, so how long we're expecting our dog to stay put. The second one is distance, so practicing how far away we can get from our dog while they stay. And then the third one is adding distractions, so other people, environmental changes, things like tennis balls or toys. You can be your own dog's distraction, and as we're learning these, we do them one at a time so that we're keeping our dog very successful when they're learning this. So to start out, we are going to charge their stays, and what this means is we are teaching them that it's really valuable and it pays when they stay put and do not move. So we're going to set our dogs up, and I know Comet is very food motivated. I know that he is going to stay put once I signal him the cue. If you're not sure how motivated your dog is with working with you and staying engaged, you can test this out first with no verbal or visual cue, and it's just charging by just giving them a treat, another treat, and another treat. So Comet stayed put, very motivated to be working with me. So I can assume now that I'm going to add my visual and verbal cue. So for duration, we are just asking them to stay. I like to use this as my hand signal. As soon as I put my cue in, I'm just going to treat, treat, treat for about 5 to 10 seconds, and then release Comet with an OK, which is his release cue, which means the activity is over. So I'm going to tell Comet, stay. He's going to get a treat, another treat, and another treat, and then I'm going to release him. Okay, and that means he is free to move. The exercise is over. Another thing you're going to want to think about when you're building duration is your rate of reinforcement. So I gave a treat about every second or so. Some dogs are going to need a really high rate of reinforcement, treat, treat, treat. Some dogs can go a little bit slower. So for Comet, sit, stay. I can start having a slower rate of when he's getting the treats. Okay, and that means the activity is over. So start building that one. Aim, you can work at first at 5 to 10 seconds, and then you can start increasing it to 30 seconds, 40 seconds, a minute, or longer. Once you have this part down of stay, then we start adding distance, and we're going to do this nice and slow. So for adding distance, same thing, we're going to set up our dog in a sit or a down. We are going to ask them to stay, and then we're going to try to just rock back and see if we can start to add distance. Comet, stay. And then you're going to return and immediately reward. Now here, you can release your dog, or you can remind them what you're doing with the hand signal and repeat a few reps. Okay, good job. And when you're working on distance, you are also not working on duration. So what that means is if I'm adding distance, I'm not hanging back there and asking too much of my dog too quickly. We're making them successful with this one. So we'll do one more time. Sit, stay, return and do a treat. Remember, we're always releasing when we come all the way to them. Yes, okay, good. And there, you can add more and more steps back, 5 feet, 10 feet, 20 plus, and that is how you work on adding distance to your stay. Okay, so finally we are adding distraction here. So tennis balls are one of Comet's favorite things, so this one will definitely be a good distraction. We've been working on stay for years, so if your dog is just learning this, I recommend picking a much lower level distraction, whatever that looks like for your dog. It might be a simple toy that they have around all the time, a piece of food that's not super motivating like a kibble when you're training with chicken, something like that. But when we start adding distractions, we're not also going to add a bunch of distance or duration because, like I said, we're working on just one of these things at a time, building up their success rates with it. So I'm going to, for this one, actually just practice a down stay with Comet. Yes. I'm going to ask him for his stay. I'm going to take just a step back to give us some space, and then I'm going to bounce the ball. If he stays put in his stay, he's going to get reinforced for it. Okay, good job, buddy. So that is what you can start doing to add distractions that are something like a toy or food. If you yourself want to be your dog's distraction, you can add movement as well. Down, stay. You can do things like bend over. A lot of times dogs will come to that. You can do things like stomp your feet or clap a little bit, because a lot of dogs use that as a recall. If they do happen to get up or look like they're getting up, you can always reset them, remind them they're in a sit, stay, or down stay. Okay. But that is what adding some distractions can look like for your stays. So we covered our 3Ds with our stays. How are we supposed to end this? All right. So we covered our 3Ds with our stays, and practicing those three things will help get you a really solid foundation.